Shanice and Evelyn, they have a discussion about the situation that happened at the party that Evelyn threw for the pictures that her and Shanice took, and how Jackie called her a bitch in front of, Shanice. And that's Evelyn's whole situation. She feels like Jackie was being totally and completely disrespectful by calling her a bitch in front of her daughter. And that's just what it is. It is disrespectful to call somebody a bitch in front of their own daughter. Now, it is disrespectful. I can't take that away from her at all. It's disrespectful as fuck. However, however, you know, Jackie, in this sort of thing, I am on Team Jackie. Not about her calling Evelyn a bitch in front of Shanice, because she had no right to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really didn't. She ain't had no right to call her no bitch in front of her damn daughter. But in a heated argument, you really don't give a fuck what you say, and you gonna be disrespectful as motherfucking possible. So, although it's wrong, I do get why it was said. Feel what I'm saying? I done got some. I got a tan out this world, child. But anyway, later on, Tammy calls Evelyn while she's having a discussion with Shanice, and she wants to invite all the girls to New York. And Evelyn is all for it, because everybody knows that Evelyn is from New York. She's from the Bronx, whatever. And it's a good trip. So Jackie and Tammy comes out for lunch, and Tammy invites Jackie out so they can have a conversation about what happened with the Bunny Jill thing, about the Evelyn thing and everything. So Tammy was like, what we were confused by is when you said that you wasn't trying to attack Bunny Jill, but you clearly was, because you was charging at the girl and all of that shit. And that's true, Jackie. You were trying to fight Bunny Jill. Now, as much as I was hoping that you put your foot in her ass, you were trying to fight her. You was, and we can't take that from you. You was trying to whoop her ass. Rightfully so. I ain't mad with you about that. So she said, well, my thing of it was, I felt like me and Bunny Jill was forming a relationship. We were hanging out. Our husbands was hanging out. We was having one-on-ones. We was doing everything under the sun. And I felt like we were friends. And for her to say that really didn't pan out to me. So my thing about it was, I was told by a couple of my subscribers that Jackie really didn't say the liability comment. They said they watched the episode back and she didn't say it. Now, I got the episode on my computer, and I went back and I watched it, and no, she did not call the girl a liability. She said she was out of control. That's what she said. She said she was out of control, not a liability. So I get why she was upset. Then we talk about Evelyn, and Tammy was like, "Now, why would you call her a bitch in front of her child and all of that stuff?" And Jackie feel like, well, she was bringing my child into the mix. She was talking about my family, and I really didn't give a damn. So I said what the fuck I had to say and all of that stuff, which I understand. Since Evelyn been on this show, she been talking about the woman child and all of that stuff, and talking about how she is with her grandchildren and all of that stuff. And, Tammy told her, you called her a bitch, and then Evelyn was like, take care of your daughter and all of that stuff. Now, Tammy slick messy, and I watched Quadir's video, and Quadir said everything that I was been saying about Tammy. That bitch is messy as fuck. Okay, she messy as hell. She will tell a story, flip it around, switch it, and reverse the shit and everything like that, and make it sound like somebody said something that a motherfucker really didn't say. She does that a lot. So that's true. I do understand. I watched Quadir's video yesterday, and he told the motherfucking truth. All 49 minutes of that shit was the motherfucking truth. So I was all the way here for Quadir when he said that. She told her that, and Jackie didn't even hear the comment about her grandchildren. So she said, now how would she feel if I said to her what I've heard on the internet about how her daughter is a builder whore? And then Tammy was like, what's a builder whore? And she was like, how the mothers build the whores up, build the daughters up to be whores like them? That's a builder whore. And so, Tammy was like, we need to leave the kids out of the situation. Kids should have been left out of the situation from the beginning, because Evelyn came into the situation, looking down on Jackie about her business with her fucking daughter. And I was on Evelyn's side at first, but the more this bitch talk about the shit, the more I get annoyed. And I guess Jackie feel like, hell, you keep talking about my child and me as a mother, then I'm gonna say something about you and yours, and we're fair game. So at this point, I can't really be mad at Jackie because, you know, Evelyn been spending all her time talking about her as a mother. So, I mean, they're both going below the belt if you ask me. So Shaunie and Evelyn, they go to the Bronx. And I will say, let me just say this. The episode was clearly boring to me until the end, until Jackie and her mess came along. But I will say that this was a very lighthearted time to see Shaunie and Evelyn take the Bronx. You know, they out here having a great time and, you know, doing this. And, you know, Shaunie's not a New York girl. She don't really know how it is to be a New York girl, but Evelyn is. And it kind of reminds me of last year when I went to Chicago. Like, I've been to Chicago before that, but I went with my grandmother, and we didn't really do shit when I went up there to visit her but sit in a damn house. And I was like 13 years old. We didn't do a fucking thing when we went to Chicago. Not a thing. So when I went to Chicago this time last year, I was in a cultural shock, just like Shaunie was in a cultural shock. Like, you know, down south, you know, when we see people, even if we know them or don't know them, we say, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? That's just the Southern hospitality. But when I went up to Chicago, and we was at a gas station, and I saw this girl, her kids, and her boyfriend at a gas station. And they were all looking at me. So I was like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? They looked at me like they wanted to whoop my ass. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So then my cousin pulled me to the side and said, you can't do that here. And I'm like, what you mean? He was like, you can't do that here because when I first came to Chicago about 10 years ago at that time, 10 years ago, and I was walking up the street to the store and I saw this guy, and you know, he was looking at me. So I was like, hey, how you doing? This dude tried to fight me. So I learned from that point on to never do that here. You cannot do that here. You cannot speak here. You cannot. And I'm like, and it was hard because every time I went somewhere, I had to catch myself before I said, hey, catch myself. That's what I had to do. So, you know, that was difficult because that was like a cultural shock altogether because I didn't know that they don't do that up there. Like, I'm used to like speaking, hey, how you doing? Hey, girl, how's your day going? That's what we do down here. But up there, you will get your ass beat for that. And when I went to the tattoo parlor, you know, all these guys was looking at me crazy, and I was about to speak again, but I had to remember where I was at. We was in Chicago, right off Cicero. So, you know, I ain't trying to be. That was the most uncomfortable shit. Like, I'm just used to being, you know, speaking, being nice and pleasant to people, but up there, they are some rude motherfuckers. Okay, so they went out for pizza. They went to these different stores and all of that. Then they went to Evelyn's mama's house. You know, her mama still stay in the projects. And, you know, the last time we saw Evelyn's mama, her mama was kind of on the thick side, but now she's skinny as me. What the fuck she been doing? You know what I'm saying? So they got to talking about everything, and that was, I will say, that was nice to watch. It was nice to watch, just to see that. It was pretty clear. It was nice to watch. So, Jackie and Sania, they get in the truck together, and they're on their way to the restaurant to meet up with the rest of the girls for drinks and dinner and everything else. They're all in New York at this point. And, oh, before yeah, let me go into that. And, you know, Sania feels like, you know, I feel like I feel like Evelyn started it with the whole, you know, daughter thing and, you know, talking about your child and all of that. And I feel like, you know, I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't really take away from what Evelyn said because you calling somebody's child a whore. But they are both talking about each other kids. And at this point, y'all need to stop talking about each other kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. So when they came in there, you know, Jackie called Evelyn out and she apologized. No, she was talking to Evelyn. And she was talking about the conversation that she had with Tammy. And Evelyn was like, make that your last and final time calling me a bitch in front of my fucking daughter. Make that your last time calling me a bitch in front of my daughter. So I was like, bruh, Evelyn is upset, baby. So they go into this argument, and they both, you know, they going back and forth. in the restaurant, and Jackie was like, how would you feel if I go up and say the shit that I've been hearing about in the streets about your daughter being a builder whore? How would you feel if I did that? When she said that, everybody got fucking quiet. Everybody got quiet. They didn't know what to say when she said that. Evelyn got quiet. So Evelyn had to leave. Evelyn had to walk out. Because we all know that Shanice is her pride and joy, and she don't want nobody coming for her child. And that's just what it is. Don't nobody want nobody coming for their child, but you also got to understand that's how Jackie feels. She didn't want nobody coming for her child either. Like talking about the situation about her child, and where you really didn't know the full story. So then she walk out and she's tearing up, and you know, Tammy and Shani go out there and comfort Evelyn, and Shawnee comes back in. And Sania was like, would Evelyn be, you know, willing to hear out an apology from Jackie? Shawnee thinks that it's not a good idea. It's not one. But then Jackie decides that she wants to go out there anyway. So she goes out there, and she apologizes to Evelyn for calling her a bitch in front of her daughter. But she wants Evelyn to apologize to her for disrespecting her. Evelyn says she wasn't getting shit. Point blank in the period. She said she ain't getting shit. So after that, she let it be known, y'all, that she wasn't finna get not one motherfucking apology. She let it be known. So that was the end of that. And then, Jackie was like, you see how disrespectful this little bitch being? I'll kill that bitch. Evelyn tried to charge at Jackie. Jackie tried to charge at her. The security guards are on point because they kept their ass from fighting. And here's my thing with y'all. Some of y'all. Why do y'all seem to think that Evelyn will whoop Jackie ass? I don't understand why you think that Evelyn will whoop her ass. Now, we all talking about this whole Jackie and Brooke fight that none of us saw. We really don't know who whooped who ass. All we know is that Jackie's hair was fucked up. Who's to say that, Brooke just wasn't pulling her hair? I ain't see her get ass whooped. It looked like she got ass whooped, but, that's just up there. We don't know if she got ass beat or not, but we will say this. Evelyn could barely hold on with Royce, okay? Evelyn could barely handle Royce's ass. So what the fuck make any of y'all think that she can handle Jackie? Please, Jackie would kill Evelyn. Point the fuck blank. I believe Jackie the type of bitch that'll black out and kill a bitch. That's just my personal belief. I ain't saying that's in the Bible. I ain't saying that it's true. I'm just saying that's just what the fuck I believe. I believe she will kill Evelyn ass, okay? Jackie wanted Evelyn ass, and Evelyn wanted her. So, that's the end of my review, because it's already 2 days late. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and motherfucking subscribe, and all of that. I want to see everything y'all say, whether I agree with it or not. Like I said in my last video, after this one, I'll be doing another video tomorrow morning. And then I'll be going live Friday night. Since I get off early Friday night, I'll be doing a video live Friday night. And with that being said, let me go take a bath and get ready for work. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.